What's up, Dragon Brood? Today we're going to be looking at cats because I'm kind of wondering, we see a lot of mono white life gain stuff, but we don't see a lot of just general cat decks, and I think the cats might actually be better. So let's take a look at it. Alright, Lean in Vanguard's still the best one-drop cat that's available, so we're going to go ahead and play with that. We do have some Glory Heath links to be able to gain a little bit of life and draw some cards, particularly just draw planes, but it does help thin out the deck. Some helpful hunters so we can draw some cards. Sheltered by Ghosts, because of course we're going to play Sheltered by Ghosts. Why wouldn't we? We have Sky Knight Squire as a way to come over the top. A Rabo, because we're playing cats and making more cats and tokens is obviously good. We do get to play Cutzel's Flanker, which happens to still be a cat and can be used against the graveyard decks. We can do a couple other things with it, but that's the biggest issue. We have Cutzel, Malamet Exemplar. This is a way for us to draw some extra cards, and opponent can't cast spells during our turns, also very nice. Felidar Retreat, because this does actually make cat tokens. I think people forget that sometimes, but it can also pump our team if necessary. Ouroboros, we're playing 3 of them because we are playing green, so why not? We're playing creatures, right? You can't avoid it. We do have 1 copy of Sovereign Okineko How, which is a way to also pump our team, get some extra value on some of those attacks. Also plays well with Felidar Retreat, which is kind of nice. And then we have Regal Caracal, because why not? Make more cats, get some life gain, pump our team. Does all the stuff we want to do. As far as lands, we are going to be playing both Abandoned Air Temple to pump our team and a copy of Ba Sing Se, so we should be able to get some extra value. Don't have to overcommit if we think a sweeper's coming, so we should be able to play around all that stuff. That being said, don't forget, if you're going to buy your Magic and you want to save some money, go over to Tales of Adventure. It's toamagic.com. You can use my code DRAGON. That's DRAGN, just like on the screen. It'll save you 5% on literally all the Magic stuff you buy over there. For now, though, let's go see if these cats have the claws to get it done. Okay, this could work. I mean, it's a little weird because we have a bunch of lands that enter the battlefield tapped. So I think we have to turn 1 this. As much as we'd like to play Vanguard, it wouldn't have really worked out well. So we just go ahead and play a Glory Heath links here, I think. And then depending on what the opponent does, we can unlock some things here. Okay. I think the plan is to do this. And then we'll saddle. I'll go ahead and attack because they're not going to block. And then I'll play this and play this. And then regardless of what they do, we have a shelter, and then we'll have to play the, like, I'm going to shelter your shelter game. Because, you know, you get into that mess. And they ended up not attacking with either. That's amusing. Not what I anticipated. I guess we do this. And then this onto the Squire. The problem is we kind of want the Squire to come over the top later. But I also don't want to play this on a Glory Heath links that we're probably going to attack with, so I guess we put it on you. Very disappointing. But sometimes you got to make the tough decisions. Go attacking. Alright. I'm going to assume this will be a shelter your shelter type situation. If they have it. No, interesting. So it does prove out our point, though, that they were also afraid of our Sky Knight Squire more than they wanted to get their Essence Channeler back. Which is very interesting. Let's go ahead and play this. Play a land. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, funny as it is, we got to see life gain versus cats, and cats won this one. I honestly, though, it's not that I don't think life gain's good. I think it is. I think life gain can have the better starts. I just think as the games draw out, the cats have more ways to overcome it. Because as you've watched on this channel, if you watch any of our videos in the last month or 2 months, it seems, we keep having really long games against life gain that we're able to overcome and win with a bunch of variety of decks, where I think cats can at least close the clock a little bit better. But that still remains to be seen. Well, this is a weird hand, but I guess we'll keep it. Triple Squire. Wow. And there's a real chance that none of these Squires get to do anything. It's very sad. All right. Squire number 1 gone. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, this is a little bit of something. Sultai Dragons have a lot of removal, though. And a couple of board sweepers. So we probably don't have a lot of time to work with here. Oh, Dread Knight. The forgotten card, it seems like, these days. I'm going to go ahead and go here. Just in case they have a dragon that gives, like, minus X to stuff. We can get one creature big enough to matter here. Alright. Because to give everything -2/-2 is still legit here. But then if we draw an untapped land, that gives us real value toward trying to close this out. Steam Core Scholar. That's not what I expected to see. Huh. What deck plays all these cards together? Oh, you're reanimating stuff. You're just a really creatively done reanimator deck. Cool. Well, then here, we definitely want to draw an untapped land, if the deck would be so kind. It was not. It was definitely not. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, sure. Yeah. You only have 1 mana open. Yep, that'll do it. Oh, we're going to keep it, but I really would like to have an untapped land on turn 3. Though if I find another 2 mana thing on 2, or on 3, that's fine. And we just work our way up. We'll see, though. Don't know how this is going to go. We have high hopes, though. No. Okay, well, Shelter at least gives us something to do next turn. So there is that. Though in a weird way, I almost wouldn't have mind drawing another Leonin Vanguard here. Ah, man. Our Squire is so dead when we play it. But we can't not do something here. Such a bad feeling when you know it's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, it didn't happen. What was all that pausing for? Maybe those are pump spells and not burn spells? Very peculiar. Alright, you have a ruby. Ruby's attacking, sure. We're not blocking. And another shelter. Well, alright. We were kind of priced into the shelter plan here anyway. Putting it on the Vanguard, because if they do get a removal spell, we'd much rather lose Vanguard than the Squire in the long term. Pass the turn. Man, why do I feel like Ouroboros is just going to make us sad soon? Because our hand's doing a whole lot of nothing. However, though, this costs the opponent their entire turn here, which isn't bad. But man, with Gruul decks, I know better. I've played so many of them that they could cast anything next turn. Okay, let's go ahead and get the forest so we just have it. Alright, I mean, we're finding our land, so it's not the worst thing. I also kind of want to scry. Alright, I'm going to do this in case they're stuck on mana. I don't know. And we'll just have to get lucky drawing an untapped land. Nope. They had their mana. Sky Knight Squire gone. In a weird way, though, Squire going away and then us drawing into Regal Caracal is not the worst, because they've used removal spells on smaller creatures. Ooh, okay. Good thing we have Ward, so that won't hurt the Squire, fortunately. And then they'll have to recast Hellkite. So that's actually not bad for us. For not getting the draw we wanted, that's reasonable. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And get us 5 life here. 6 life. Alright. Okay, cool. Man, that one felt ugly because our hand just felt like... I mean, coincidentally, we drew 2 lands on turns 4 and 5 as we needed them. But, man, if we didn't, this game would have looked way different. Oh, why is this such an expensive hand? We have to mulligan. Let's keep it. And I'm actually going to toss that. And we'll see if we can just turn this into a little something. Nope. Opponent gets to get rid of something here. Probably a Glory Heathling, since I can just play that next turn. But I don't know. I've been seeing so many intimidation tactics, discard spells. I never know what's coming out of these black decks anymore. Sure. Attack. I'm going to go ahead and just play this. And then there's red mana. Oh! Lizards. I think lizards are still really good. So kind of cool to see somebody else rolling them out. Something we don't get to see too often. Alright, pass the turn. Interesting they're rolling with intimidation tactics. Okay, Hired Claw, so we take some damage. And a Rot Collar. Sure, those all make sense. Alright, we gotta play this. I think I'm gonna gain 2 life in Scry. Oh boy. Are these even good enough here? Ugh, man. What are we doing here? I don't think they are, sadly. I think I'm going to let those go. I hate it, but I'm going to let them go. Eesh, that hurts. Ah, man. I mean, now this is only a payoff if we draw like Regal Caracal or something here. Otherwise, this is real bad. All right, some Vine Lashers. All right, more damage. Attack with Rot Collar. Drain us for 4. I mean, we kind of knew this was going to be our play this turn anyway. God, another flanker? Man. We can't. We got to go looking for something better. I wish there was another answer, but we got to go find something better. You know what? That counts. That's something at least. All right. That's a start. Likely won't get us out of trouble completely, but it's a start. Yeah, now unless we get shelter, yeah, we're just dead here. This is what I was saying. I think lizards are still really good. Okay, yeah, we're dead anyway. They had extra removal too. We don't even need to play it out. Yeah, that's a case where I had a slow draw. Actually, to be honest, our scries were kind of bad too. Because we needed to draw more links or Arabos or whatever, and we just saw none. And they drew very well, so they deserve to win that one. Okay, let's try to rock and roll with this. Armored Appa. Oh, we know what that means. There's about to be a lot of tokens. We would like to draw a Rabo or something here. That'll actually help, because this will be a 2/2 when it attacks next turn. What is this card? Stillness in Motion. Beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment and put 5 here. Okay. I don't know how these two go together, but I bet we're about to find out. Which just feels like it's about to be real wild. What the hell? So you're trying to get Hare appearance in the yard? That's crazy. Cool, but crazy. Oh, well, I guess maybe they could also be playing Raise the Past, which is possible. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is a wild, wild time here. I don't even know why I'm doing this all pre-combat. We'll attack first. There's probably just a Raise the Past coming anyway, but we're still attacking. Oh, they didn't block, though, so maybe there's not. Interesting. There is a Raise the Past, though, so we were right there. Heir Apparent, sure. Another Heir Apparent, fair enough. They flipped one Raise the Past. I don't know what that means for having more. Ugh. So, if we Ouroboride... God, what's better here? Probably just... Oh, gosh. And you got a bunch of creatures in the yard and get back, which kills us with the sharpshooter. Yeah, I don't think this is good either way we do this. I mean, I guess... I'm just like, I don't even know what we do. I guess we attack here. Some number of the tokens block. I mean, you're getting all these things out of the graveyard anyway. It doesn't really matter. I feel like they already have the Raise the Pass, and we're just kind of spinning our wheels here to not die. But we'll see. Alright, we'll queue up the GGs. Nope, they didn't have it. Wow. Wow. This is kind of an interesting way to do this, though. I see what they're doing. Like, you play the Tail of Tameo so that you mill 2 cards, if 2 cards share a creature type, and they're hoping to have a lot of Hare appearance, so you at least get a couple of mill actions off of this. And then this is just putting stuff in the graveyard. And then you're hoping between all those things that enter back, you either get a bunch of life or deal a bunch of damage because of the sharpshooter, making a bunch of extra tokens from the Hare appearance. A little bit convoluted, but I get where they're going, and it's kind of interesting. Gotta be honest. I don't know if we would have died to that, but they would have gained a bunch of life. They would have been back at like 25 or something, probably. And we would have had a lot of work to do. So, yeah, interesting. Alright, we'll keep this and see what we could do. Double Arabo's a little weird, but what you gonna do? Here comes the Duress. Intimidation tactics. Alright. Been seeing a lot of that lately. That must be the latter trend. Cute. Let's go ahead and roll that out there. Now, one would assume, I was going to say, they're going to keep removal for things, but this opponent looks like they're just playing discard. So I'm going to assume I'm losing at least one of these Arabos next turn, if not both of them. And... no. Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, you don't have any 1-mana removal that's going to matter here. Attack for what we can. Put the opponent to 12. Now, if they kill a Rabo here, the other Rabo I think is exactly lethal, right? 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. No, it won't be actually. It'll be short 2. Well, let's just hope they can't get rid of our other Rabo. Actually, they would be short 1, I think, the way the math works at the moment. Well, now we're short a lot more. So that's a whole different problem. We do have this. So gaining a couple of points could matter. Gets us another token. And then I think playing Fabled Passage is fine here because the opponent just takes the turn to make us discard. Then they're going to lose. If they sweep the board, then we just play the other Arabo. Unless, of course, it's like Deadly Dispute. But then they don't have enough to remove. So I guess it's fine. And this offsets the life we would lose to the Bandits talent here. Yeah, still stand by, though. If any of you have a good discard deck that's doing well, let me know. Hop into the Discord. I would love to showcase it because there seem to be a lot of people wanting to play discard on the ladder right now, and most of them do not seem to be good. I think we beat another one in yesterday's video as well. Nothing against the opponents. It's a big trend right now, for sure. Actually, I say that, but how many of y'all are running into a lot of discard decks? Because I feel like it's... even when I'm just testing decks or whatever, it's probably at least once every 15 games or so, maybe, which is way more than what we're seeing before. It wasn't even like one per day. I mean, it was probably once a week I'd run into discard stuff. So really surprising that it's been almost every session now, which I find to be very peculiar. Ooh, we got to mulligan that. Keeping just 3s and 4s, that's a recipe for disaster. This is a tougher call. I'm going to keep it, and Cutzel's going to go away, sadly. I'm banking on an opportunity to hopefully draw other stuff. Partially because Arabo obviously pumps our team, and then we didn't even have green mana there, so that was a different problem. Go attacking. Alright. This is where we would have liked to have had Cavernous Souls, because now they're going to sit with counters up, I think. Yeah. So sadly, could have got rid of this Abandoned Air Temple and still cast the Arabo, or the Cutzel would have been fine. Oh, you have to have a counter here, right? Nothing else makes sense. Alright, let's just do it. But we will be adding Cavernous Souls to the final list for a couple of reasons. But weird that they didn't have a counter there, though. Is that just a bounce spell? Wow. Okay. But yeah, we have a lot to say about this at the end of the video, for sure. So now this is wild, because I'm assuming it's 3 steps ahead now? Because, like, nothing else makes sense here. Yeah, it's got to be, right? Alright, get in there for 5. I mean, that's still damage. You know, we ain't mad at it. Look at you. Who plays that card still in that double? Alright. You know, that's something. Those are words that matter. Get in there, team. The opponent's going to make a bad block. Nope. Interesting, they only blocked one of them. Not sure why. I would have either double blocked the 1/1 or split up the blocks, but okay, here's a Tiger Seal. So now that makes sense. You're playing these guys to draw an additional card, and like, I got it. All right. So, would we like to Lynx plus Sky Knight Squire here, or would we... Let's just see how they block first before we dedicate any bonuses, because they have to block here to not die, right? Tidebinder? Sure. That's definitely a thing you get to do. Still attacking. Yeah, that works. And we're only down one creature from that? Yeah, seems like a good exchange. Surprising how I feel like we've been doing this with just all the small cards in the deck, but none of the big cards. Alright, I mean, opponent's still in this. Yeah, you get more cards. I mean, we attack, they block. We play two dudes. I mean, seems reasonable. I mean, they were going to block the same either way there, so we're just going to put them to 2 here and then do this. Yeah. All right, Tiger Seal. That's a blocker. And Riddler. Not quite another blocker. I mean, they could still have a bounce spell plus some other stuff, so there's a long way from over. But this is just mono blue, couple of counters. Okay, there's Jace. But now that's just game over, right? Even with the bounce spell here. Yeah, we don't even need any trickery. Cool. Oh, easy mulligan here. Can't do anything with that hand. This is actually kind of intriguing. Obviously, we'd like to draw 2 mana things somewhere along the way here. Oh boy. How do we feel about that? Go attacking. Guess we don't mind it too much, right? We flash this in during their end step, so we play around the other option a little bit. Yeah, I'll attack. You're not blocking here. Alright, Leonin Vanguard. Probably another 1-mana creature here. Nope. Okay. So we're going to go scrying. They will gain some life here. Ah, Gloria Heathlinks and a land. Huh. I think Lynx goes back in. Keeping the land just on the premise that we get to do something with Felidar Retreat. And yeah, we'll just attack here. Like, if they want to block, they could block. That actually benefits us if they block, as things stand. Of course. Who even plays that card? Sure, man. Have at it. You got me. That is one of the more random cards I've seen played. But hey, you know what? It worked. Alright, well now I have to question everything. What if we... go here. Here. I mean, I assume they have another one, right? I don't think that's unreal to believe. Okay, they didn't, but I could have easily talked myself into them having it. All right, a shelter's kind of nice here. Exercise. Sure, that's out of here. I'm going to say, I would block that. Ooh, but we get this. I like that. We will attack. If you would like to block and move counters, I am okay with such things. You got it. They got their third mana into Enduring Innocence. That plays in our favor very well here. Not blocking, because boy, do we have some options incoming. Ooh, and a Cutzel's Flanker. Like that. If we put this on Ouroboros, we get to add more, but they kind of want to kill an Ouroboros anyway. So I'm actually going to put this here. Though removing Enduring Innocence probably the better play, but you know what? We're going for it. Now, I could have put this in to gain the counter and all that stuff, but... Oh, that was a bad play. I could have removed that while it was still in the graveyard. I shouldn't have clicked through. Exiling their graveyard would have been very important there. So, definitely a missed opportunity. Let's go ahead and get this on the battlefield now. Let's go ahead and scry. I don't think we want either of these. We have so many bigger, better cards we could get. Even a land. Oh, actually, a land is actually fine here. Alright, well, we're just going to do this. Turn one of these planes into a Deuter. And get in there with Airbody. I mean, everything's must block right now. You can let one through and not die. Alright. That's 15. You got to block something else. Not sure if you're aware. There you go. You can block that way and take 13. Okay, let's see what they got. Zenith, and then a dude. I mean, you get to make a bunch of creatures here to block with, so you're not dead by any stretch. Okay, that's going to do it. Yeah, I guess we just attack. I'm not even going to play anything here. Alright. Okay, cool. Got there again against another white deck. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, Acrobatic Leap was definitely a surprise. I might be the first time I've had that cast against me in ladder play, in constructed play at all. So that's kind of crazy. But we at least got to see an Ouroboros here, I guess. So there's that. This is better. Though I think I'm going to get rid of that. We'll see how I feel about it. There's a Momo. I was kind of hoping this Hushwood Verge would have been a creature of some sort, but it is not. And now I feel like I'm going to have to use this to probably get rid of a Giada or something. Nope, they're just going to get rid of our creature. I mean, they could still play a 2-mana thing here. They didn't have it. They wanted to get rid of my creature more than they wanted to advance their own board. Love that for us. Okay. So now what do you want to do here? They might still want to remove something and play something here. If so, it looks like this shelter is going to be going on a Leonin Vanguard. For a vampire, playing a Causey Revenant. Alright. Fair enough. Ugh. Definitely wanted that to be something else. Oh boy. Not great. Not great. We've drawn one creature since it started. It was the Leonin Vanguard. That's tough. And I don't think we get to hold on to these creatures for the next couple of turns. My opponent has 4 mana, 4 cards. This is looking kind of rough. We might need to draw like an Arabo or a Regal Caracal or something here to even have a real chance. But not a lot we can do about it. We knew that was coming. I'm not surprised there was removal. I purposely put it on that creature instead of the Squire so we get to hold on to the Squire. But we'll see what happens. No. Yeah, now we're just dead, right? Like, I mean, I guess we can attack, force them to block. I mean, I don't even know if they would, but yeah, this is a bad situation, no matter how you slice it. Sometimes it's like that, though. I mean, we've effectively drawn 3 creatures in an all-creature deck. All right, cool. GG's. We're not coming back from that. We can move on. Yeah, you're just too late to the party there, Ouroboros. Even if we play it, attack, they can block. Like, yeah. I can't see... Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll go through the motions, but... Actually, hell, let's do this so we can take less damage. I don't know if it's going to matter. I mean, I guess there's a world... I mean, God, if I'd have had that sooner, it would have been great. Obviously. I mean, the only way this matters at all is if the opponent's hand is just lands, right? Because minimum, we're going to take 5, 8, 9, plus another 2, 3. Yeah, we're dead anyway. Yeah, strategic betrayal, sure. Do we keep the Squire? Let's just do this. I think we're dead anyway. I don't think it really matters. I was like, I'm thinking over the choice like there's a real upside or whatever. Okay. Yeah, let's just move on. Like, we're not coming back from that. Okay, let's rock with it. I mean, this is kind of nice. I mean, we have 2 green if we get to the Ouroboros. So, oh, well, we're going to be in a race to find out if we can get there. Yeah, let's go ahead and go here. And attack. Thought about going Helpful Hunter just to try to draw into the extra land, but meh. Bushwhack. Choosing not to fight something, but to go search for a land. Oh, they needed white mana. That's why. Well, they might still be bushwhacking here. Yeah, exactly. I was like, they still might be doing their thing. You know what? I'm going to hold on to the shelter because there's a chance they play, like, Mossborn Hydra, and I'd rather get rid of that. Oh, and the land was a starting town? No! Man, that's some bad luck. Okay. What are we doing here? I mean, I guess we just are a Ouroboros, right? And then attack? I mean, they could have shelter or whatever of their own here, so who knows? Yep, here it comes. What they don't know is we have a shelter of our own. Do they have a protective spell, though, is the question. Ooh, double shelter, though. Alright, so we can at least test it out here. Okay, they don't have anything. So let's just get their whole chocobo. And then we're not doing the I shelter, your shelter, then I can't attack because I'm worried about shelter happening, you know, whatever. Those silly shenanigans. Alright. There's an Earthbender Ascension. This is not a bad setup. Oh, well, alright. Then we got another Ouroboros. That should do it. Yep, that'll be more than enough. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to make out of this. Man. That first draw is going to tell me a lot on what I want to play, I think. Because I feel like if we draw one of the 1-mana things, I might just play a Squire in the anticipation of being able to Squire plus 1 mana. Otherwise, I don't know. We play the Lynx here. Then I guess I could flanker, saddle, attack. I don't know. They're just going to shelter now? Wow, that's a very aggressive shelter. But hey, to each their own. You do you, fam. Alright, there's that. But I think we just pass here. See if we can trap them in the, like, we can flash a creature in kind of scenario. Get some extra value. Yep. They're going to play another creature here. Gain some more life. You got it. Yep. It might look like we just have a removal spell. But instead, we're going to gain life and scry. Ooh, I will take just the Leonin Vanguard, I think. And block. Then we'll play one of these. And the reason I took that is if we don't draw another land, I can still play 2 things next turn, which is super big. Gain a life, attack, but we will get another land here. Okay. Not bad. Go ahead and play this. Squire up. Alright. So now if we just draw a land, we get to get these 2 on the battlefield, then we win. Alright, cool. Yeah, this was pretty cool. We really didn't draw the Ouroboros all that much, and I think we only got Felidar Retreat in a couple of games. So kind of the better cards we were hoping to draw, we really didn't get them very much. I was kind of disappointed. Actually, to be honest, we didn't draw our upper end very on. I think we drew Caracal a couple times at least, but yeah, I think that makes it kind of hard to judge this because we have, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, what we would call big cards we could draw, and they really didn't show up, or at least didn't feel like they showed up enough for me to really give a gauge overall. But I don't think you have a lot of choices if you're going to play this. I feel like this is pretty close. You might go plus or minus some different numbers on this list. If anything, I think one of the issues we could have is just too many lands that enter the battlefield tapped early. Between like the Fable Passage, because we're trying to take advantage of the Felidar Retreat, the Ba Sing Se, the Air Temple, and the Restless Prairies. That can be a lot of tap lands when you're trying to play stuff on turn 2 a lot of the time. So I could see a world where we probably cut like 1 Temple, believe it or not, maybe even 1 Fable Passage, I think is what we want to do. Because really, while they do help with our mana and they do thin the deck out a little bit, they're only exceptional when we have Felidar Retreat. And then I think we can also get rid of the Soulstone Sanctuary because we just didn't use it that often. And there's only 1. And I think you go ahead and just put the Cavern of Souls in, because you're mostly going to put it on Cat. However, sometimes you might decide you want to put it on like Plant or Worm so you can cast this. But otherwise, all your other creatures are cats, and we only have a handful of spells that aren't creatures. So I think it's okay to play those. And then this feels a little bit better. I think you'll have a fewer number of clunky early turns, and the deck should do what you want it to do. But if you're wanting to play cats, I know people are like, Ouroborod's not really a cat, but it helps get the job done. You know, it's another way to pump your team, so I don't have a problem with it. If anything, now that I'm thinking about it, I would have liked to have had like a Elspeth in here, you know, some Planeswalker. Hey, we're playing green, even to be able to play, what's her name? Vivian would be good, right? Because then you could draw into potentially, you know, when you're looking for an Ouroboros or Regal Caracal, like that would be awesome. So having that and another way to get rid of artifacts and enchantments. So if you are missing, say like a Cutzel or a Sovereign, and you have the Vivian reads, I would go ahead and play up to 2 of those, and I think that's a reasonable inclusion to have in here. It's just more versatility to help you deal with more options. That this deck really doesn't have a lot of ways to do it. You're brute forcing your way through the games, right? Because this is just sheltered by Ghost, really for the most part. And then what little bit we can do with Cutzel's Flanker, right? Otherwise, everything's just punching through. So that would be my suggestion. And honestly, I could see a world where we even find a way to squeeze those in here. How many lands do I think we have 25 lands, so I could see a world where we maybe potentially cut 1 land for 1 Vivian and just play 24, because we don't have a ton at the upper end, but you also want to have enough lands that you could hit Felidar Retreat. But we can search for some with Glory Heathlink, so who knows? This is just one of those tough spots. I think I want one more something, and I don't know what something is, but at least that's an option for you if you're looking at swapping cards in or out. But yeah, y'all know the drill. The link will be over at Moxfield if you want to try this out and give it a go. Otherwise, that's all I have for now. We'll see you next time.